What is up, guys? It's your boy Stevo again, and I'm back again for yet another video review. And today we're going to be talking about the new Primo 3 by GnarlyFPV. This is pretty much going to be my full review and flight review of this guy. So first we're going to dive in and talk about what components I decided to go with on this build. So we got the GnarlyFPV 1105 5K motors. Also we got the GnarlyFPV all-in-one 12 amp ESC. We got the TBS Unified Pro 32. We have the Runcam Nano 2. The RX I decided to go with was the Beta FPV DSMX. We have the HQ Bi-Blade 3x2 props. So we're gonna go ahead and weigh it. And it looks like we're coming about 61 grams dry. So we're gonna be talking about the batteries I chose to use with this guy. So first, let's go into the two 3S batteries. We got the 3S300 and the 3S550. The 3S550 gave me the best flight times. So I was getting about 4.5, even sometimes 6 minutes of flight if I was cruising. The 3S300, I'm getting about 3 to 3.5 minutes, depending on how I was punching the throttle. But I got to say that it felt very light in the air and very nimble with this 3S300. So I like pretty much using both of these batteries and they perform pretty well. The 2S batteries I chose to use and tested with this build was the 2S650 and the 2S450. So the 2S650, I think I was getting about 5 minutes and maybe about 4.5 minutes on the 450. So these 2S batteries, I wasn't getting nearly the amount of punch I was getting with the 3S, but it was a decent amount. I would say, you know, if you're a beginner, the 2S will be fine. But if you're into the freestyle and, you know, you're a more advanced flyer, the 3S was definitely the way to go. So in the last video I did of the Primo 3, it was pretty much a discussion on what you're going to be getting with the kit, and I did mention that I was going to try out these 1103 GnarlyFPV AK motors. And initially these were for another build, but I wanted to try them out to see how they would handle a 3-inch prop. But to my findings, it just wasn't giving me the performance that I wanted. I felt it was a little bit lacking. I know a lot of people run the 1103 on 3-inch. But for me, I just wasn't getting that stick control that I would like a 1105 or 1106 motor on 3-inch. And I mean, it's totally doable, but you know, for my flying style, I would just prefer a bigger motor. So pretty much that's why I went with the 1105 5K GnarlyFPV motor. And when I switched to this motor, the performance was definitely there, and it was pretty much a night and day difference. I really liked it a lot, and I just feel that the 1105 is pretty much a sweet spot for these type of builds if you want to build like an ultralight and run 3-inch props. So yeah, I really liked it a lot, and it gave me the performance that I was definitely missing from the 1103. So we're going to talk about the new canopy design. So you can see that we do have a micro axis cutout now, and we do have 2 holes to slip a zip tie in there, and we can go ahead and secure your linear antenna. So that's the way I have it right now, and I haven't had any problems. It's pretty secure. I've had a few crashes and it's held up pretty well. We're going to take a look at the camera protection. So we do get a little bit more camera protection. I know in the last video I talked about having more, but they did improve on that. It is still slightly exposed on the top, that top part of the lens, and it's not too bad. I think we put like maybe a fin right in here. It would give us a little bit more protection if we flip over in a crash. Also, it would give that ability to use turtle mode, so people that like to use turtle mode can flip over a little bit more easier. We do have a little bit more room with the canopy, and it's not as much as I wanted, but it's a little bit more. and you know, your components are not, you know, touching as like the way they used to with the previous design. I did have to use some spacers right in here, but that was because I was having some interference with the receiver getting too close to this Nano Pro 32, so I had to space it out a little bit. And once I did that, I was fine. We have our two cutouts right here, and they do give you some antenna tubes so that you can run your antennas. I have mine running out of the axis cutout because it doesn't have diversity, so I just have the antenna running out here like so. We're going to take a look at the bottom of this frame. So we do have a 2.5 millimeter frame. I believe on the last video I said it was 3 millimeters, but it's actually 2.5. Also, we don't have a whole lot of motor protection with this build, so if you do crash, you may damage a motor. I did manage to hit a pole and I delaminated the carbon fiber right in here, but I was able to repair it with some glue and a vise that I had in the garage. So the motor came out fine. I got lucky on that one. I didn't get any motor damage, but it could happen. As we look underneath, we do still have the countersunk holes, which I really like. The same chamfered edge that we've known to love in the Primos. It just gives you that nice feel, and you know, it just looks premium, and I love it when frame designers do this. We also are able to do a Tola bowl mount style of mounting for your lipos. So I do have an extra piece of foam right here, and it does come with foam, but it's very thin. But the issue I was having when I was mounting, I was hitting these connectors right in here, so I had to give something with a little bit more lift. So I went with a thicker foam, and now it works out fine. So if you decide to use plugs, you may run into that issue. If you decide to do a direct solder, you probably won't even have that issue at all. You can also mount this battery strap left to right if you so choose. And they do have a little bit of gap, a slot right in the back and the slot right in the front, so that you can, you know, slip your battery strap in there. So you're gonna have to do that even before you start even the build, so just don't forget to do that. So let's go into the flight performance of this guy. And I gotta say, I really like it a lot. So if you've flown a Primo before, it's pretty much that same feeling. That it feels pretty nimble in the air, and I think a lot of it has to do with these thinner arms right in here. It just cuts through wind so easy. And with the 3-inch props, you just gain that extra control with the bigger motor, and you have more speed. So it's definitely faster than your Primo on 65 millimeter props or 2.5 inch props or what have you. But yeah, it feels so nimble in the air, and I like the control that you get with the 3-inch. So you don't have to worry about that fluttering issue that some people had with the Primos. I know the 65 millimeter prop that HQ came out, the team out, pretty much resolved that issue, but a lot of people are moving to the 3-inch ultralights now. So that's the new hot thing now. So yeah, I like it a lot, and I just like the way a 3-inch feels over, you know, a 2.5 or a 65 millimeter prop. So the handling and the stick control is a little bit more precise. So that pretty much does it for the video review. I would say if you already have the Primo original version and you want to jump up to the 3-inch version, you're gonna like it a lot. You're just gonna get that much more power and more control out of this guy. If you're new to the hobby and you want to try out building one, I believe this is one of the easiest kits to put together that I've tried out. But that being said, I'd like to take time out to thank my subscribers for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, with that being said, FPV is life, and I'll see y'all guys on the next one. Out of here.